All right, so Boosie Badass got kicked out of Planet Fitness.
So tired of this nigga.
Hey, look, the only thing is, all right, you can disagree with Boosie. Boosie say whatever the fuck he want. But when did having an opinion and expressing your opinion mean that you're a bad guy?
You're not a bad guy, but Boosie, you ain't nobody to take advice from or give advice. Like,
he's
you
a great father.
Yes, he is,
you
though.
bought your 13-year-old son a fucking prostitute for his birthday.
Yeah, that's child molestation.
So we sit up here and we talk about
I don't think he really bought him a prostitute.
He definitely did.
Because he'd be in jail.
No, you wouldn't be in jail. Because my uncle did
Or
it.
the prostitute
for
would be
my-
in jail.
Look.
But was your uncle on Instagram with millions of followers?
No,
and did the
but
whole world know?
guess what? You can say anything, but you have to prove it. Is Boosie going to go find that prostitute?
Hell no.
To do that? Is the
that's very
prostitute going to
illegal.
come forward?
I mean, that's what the law has to do.
If I was the
Boosie would-
prostitute, I would come forward. But no, she would go to jail.
Exactly.
statutory
So what I'm
rape.
saying is, like, we sit up here and we talk about, boys also get molested, this and the third. And then everybody's like, we'll give Boosie a pass.
I remember
We're not giving Boosie a pass.
But I remember seeing the
Boosie is a
Boosie
badass.
say that he didn't really buy.
What?
I think I recall a video of him saying he really didn't buy his 13-year-old son a prostitute because I'm just thinking from me. If I was gonna buy my 13-year-old son a prostitute, I wouldn't tell the world that that's what I was doing.
Yo, let me tell you
Yeah.
about real life. One of my
Oh, you gonna tell me about real life?
my
Okay.
first uncle
She
bought
knows.
my second
Okay.
uncle. Hey, my first uncle
Her
bought
first
my
uncle
second
bought her
uncle
second uncle.
a prostitute for a 16th birthday. This bitch had to be well into her 40s, from what I was told by my uncle.
All right.
Like,
Your uncle told you
God
about
bless
this.
the dead. I love this man.
Oh,
Tell
that's
me.
the one with the David Robinson jersey.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
A
He
David
was
Robinson
like-
jersey would be cold. I would wear a David Robinson jersey right
Yeah,
now.
I seen somebody with a Spurs Kawhi jersey on. It was lit.
Yo, he was like, uncle, call him.
That's beyond the point.
But the point is, people really do this, so we not gonna sit here and act like that. And the other thing is, motherfuckers.
Objection. Please.
Yo, motherfuckers really think that's okay. They think it's okay, and they think, like, for your son to come out here and say, I bet you it's somebody that'll do something to you to make you straight. I bet you it's somebody that'll do something out here to you to make you gay. It's just as offensive, and it's not okay.
Anonymous, please. We need your wise words and angry heart.
All right. So
I don't know.
This is how I feel about underage sex. Period.
Okay.
It's fucking illegal.
Yes, it is.
So as a grown man,
Unless you're in Mexico.
I don't want to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care if you are having sex with prostitutes. I don't care if you've been in a relationship since you were in kindergarten. I don't care if you decide that now you're a girl instead of a boy. You're not 18 years old yet. So sex doesn't matter.
At all.
Like, it's illegal.
So
I'll throw some condoms on the table. If you pick them up, that's on you. You know what I'm saying? But use them wisely. Know how to use them. You know what I'm saying? And be careful.
if you're going to get your dick wet, do it the right way. And
Yeah.
I'm not going to be involved.
But
in that.
I'm not going to be involved at all. As a grown-ass man, I have no place on telling any other child that didn't come out of my ball sack anything about sex.
So
You know what
look,
I'm saying?
this is what I did, right? Because I'm not here to talk about nobody kids at all. I was just saying that, Boosie basically took some slings and arrows for, sharing his opinion with the world, which I don't think is. Well, it is what it is because this is America. You can say what you want, but
Yeah.
you have to deal with the consequences of saying what you want to say.
The First Amendment comes before
But you
the
shouldn't be
Second
getting
Amendment.
kicked out of Planet Fitness. But anywho.
But now, but
First of all, who the fuck
They
goes
said
to
he did
Planet
something
Fitness?
right.
First
Why
of
is
all-
Boosie? He should be going to Equinox.
Like,
first
why are
of
you
all,
going to Planet Fitness?
Boosie is in Planet Fitness with 18,000 gold chains on.
Yes.
Why the fuck are you in the
He
no
should be at
judgment
Equinox
zone?
paying
Why are you
$240
going
a month for locker rental fees.
He's in the no judgment zone with 24 gold chains on.
Look, so I'm not here to, like I said, I'm not here to talk about nobody kids, but I'm gonna put myself in that position, right?
Okay.
So me as a boy,
As a boy,
I'm gonna be vulnerable here.
Boy or a man?
A boy.
When
Okay.
I was
I'm gonna be
a
vulnerable. When I was a boy, when
we
I
not
was
gonna
around,
disrespect Beyonce. That's what we not gonna do.
when I was around 5 or 6, I loved women. Right? I loved women. And so what I wanted to do with my life is be a cosmetologist
So
because
you could touch women's faces.
so I can make women beautiful, right?
Mm-hmm.
I
So
wanna touch women's
I think
faces.
about if I'd have told my mama I feel like a girl or I think I identify as a woman, right? That's one thing. But for me to be that age and say, Mom, I think I want to transition over and be a girl for real, right?
For real.
I would
and
imagine
not for fake.
I would imagine that I would be met with some resistance just for the simple fact that I am a child and these thoughts are not yet fully developed.
Right.
So my stance
And
as
also because your mother's not a millionaire, so she can't afford to give you
Also,
everything that you are asking for.
right,
now
want and
here's
desire
one thing. When I was a girl,
was
right?
a girl,
Because now I'm a woman.
grown ass woman
Facts.
with big hair.
So
Yeah.
when I was a girl, I didn't want my period.
I didn't
So
want
That
mine
sound
either.
like
I
something that's
wanted
normal
to
for most
be-
girls though. Is that like a thing?
when you don't understand it, yes. And when
Right.
it's uncomfortable and it's like long and drawn out, yes. When my period was 7 days or 5 days,
So do you get
Yes.
when you first get it? Do you get PMS and all of that from the start? Like, is that a real thing?
honestly, I don't remember. When it snuck up on me,
Yeah, I feel like when
That
it
shit
sneak
was
up
spooky.
on you, like it might not be PMS at the beginning. It might just be like, man, I'm
PMS
sitting in
come
this
from
motherfucking pool.
Having a
But-
period and having to do shit.
but one thing
Yeah.
I can say is like as I
don't know anything about this.
I probably got it
I
when
have
I
a
was
very
in
big
like
vagina, but
you got a
it
big
doesn't.
vagina.
It doesn't
Don't
bleed anymore.
It doesn't bleed
It's
anymore.
in
When I got it,
menopause.
I
Yeah.
was
It's hiding here right now.
I was in like 6th grade, 5th or 6th grade.
Yes.
One of the staff members at my school, one of the teachers, maybe around 7th grade, she used to remind me,
Yeah.
you're about to get your period because you're acting like this. So I don't know if
What?
it kicked in a year later.
An instructor at your school?
Yeah.
That's terrible.
But I mean,
It's
yeah,
not
but-
terrible because this
No.
is also somebody I trusted with like my being.
Did your parents know?
My mom, I don't think my mom never brought up like my mom always told me it's 28 days later, like, you know, you need to make sure you mark it on the calendar, blah blah.
Uh-huh.
But my
Right.
instructor
Right.
was like, yo, you're having mood swings, you're kind of craving this, then the third. Like,
Oh,
this
so it
is
was like a heart to
part of
heart
it.
type situation.
Yeah, absolutely.
I thought it was just like a teacher, like, oh shit, she about
Here
to get
she
her
go
period.
again.
Here she
No,
go.
no. She would bring me to the
Okay.
side and be like, all right,
I'm
you need to
thinking
start
of
paying
myself
attention to
as a
this.
parent with, you know, a
A
daughter
daughter,
that's
yeah.
at that age. It's like, nigga, what? Shut up.
No.
No, see,
It was
now-
definitely a heart to heart, and it was like as a woman, and it was another woman, so it was personal,
Now-
and she would pull me aside like, "Hey, start to pay attention to these
Mhm.
facts about yourself."
Now, definitely as an outsider looking in, I always talk about my big fat vagina, but
It is.
as
man.
an outsider
Popping
looking
that
in,
pussy for a real nigga.
I,
For some trunk fit.
I always
I want some Uncle
felt
Remus.
like, damn.
We're all over the place today. It's one of those episodes.
God damn.
The seltzer, the alcoholic seltzer got us tripping.
This
So-
white girl is.
I feel
hard.
like
I
I've always
that,
felt
white
like
girl.
women need to be more like open about the period.
Don't tell
shit
women what they need to
and
be.
like the menopause
'em.
thing. You know what I'm saying? With other
The
women,
menopause thing.
because all women go through it.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? But then it's to me from the outside looking in, it just seems like menopause smacks women in the face when you could possibly be a lot more prepared
This is what
if
you
you
call
talk to the generation ahead of you.
burying yourself.
You know, like
Breaking out of hives.
it's like there's a woman in her 60s who can possibly tell a woman in her late 30s, "Hey, you're gonna experience this."
I don't have
and
any-
You
this
know
is
what? They
gonna-"
discuss it, but you also don't know when menopause will hit. So she could tell you in your 30s. You gonna remember that in your 60s?
I mean, but don't menopause when menopause hit? I mean, you can't have no more kids, right? So it's
It-
coming
it's,
like
it's
But you
way
know
more
what?
than that.
Sometimes
it's
it's
in
so
your
way
different
more
for
than that.
everybody.
somewhere
Like
around there, right?
when people, some people when they go through menopause, they bleed uncontrollably
Like
for
hemophilia.
months at a time,
Yep.
and then like to the point they need a blood transfusion.
I heard
type shit.
heterosexual sex don't feel good no more.
Never had that or
No, I mean
I don't know.
I've heard this from women speaking about menopause. Like I'm not making
like
no,
they want
like
to be
they said the
lesbian?
penetration doesn't feel pleasurable anymore.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I'll ask around.
Yeah.
But
that's like erectile dysfunction.
But they make you get shots in the coochie now.
Just like you could pop a pill.
Wow.
Wow.
Right, exactly. It's
Y'all
like
know
the
what pill I
female
wanna pop?
The
that
Viagra?
pink kitty.
what that is.
It's like a woman Viagra.
Yeah, I heard about that thing.
We so far off
We
base
so
from what we was
far
talking about.
today.
I read
Wait.
a whole story about that shit though. I was on Twitter.
There will be no
I read
clips.
it
You read it too?
There will be no
Yeah.
clips this week, ladies and
She
gentlemen.
was like,
This episode is sponsored by White Girl.
she was
Yo.
like, he came over, and I'm like, oh, what happened next? I'm scrolling down this story like,
Hey,
Yo, when I
ladies
tell
and
y'all I'm
gentlemen,
about to read that.
ladies and gentlemen, the Cop Out Kings
Yo,
reunited.
cheers to the game.
Cheers to the Cop Out King. I'm so glad to see y'all back down. That's what's up, man.
Yo, let me tell y'all something. I needed this. Both of y'all know I've been going through it for the past couple weeks.
I do.
Yo, I needed this. I needed these laughs.
Mm-hmm.
I needed this energy.
Well, let's keep it going,
Let's
man.
keep vibing.
Let's keep it going. It is Black History Month.
Super fat.
Well, let's
Yo.
wrap up on the D Wade topic and Boosie.
Oh, so fact of the matter is, though I can accept you as a child, telling me that these are your feelings. So I told my mom I wanted to be a boy to get rid of my period.
Mm-hmm.
That is also me learning my period. That's me learning my body. That's me learning what makes me comfortable, what doesn't.
Right.
Zaya saying, I no longer want to be Zion. I want to be Zaya.
Now I want to stay
feel
away
this
from.
way.
Let's not mention the kid.
Okay, but this child saying this is how I feel. This is, how I want to be acknowledged
Mm-hmm.
is one thing.
Your feelings are valid.
Your feelings are valid. We're not saying that the parents are gonna go and order the hormones,
Get you the whole kit.
get you the whole kid,
Yeah.
and take it to the. What we're not saying all that.
isn't that what the parents are saying though?
The parents are
Isn't
saying,
that-
"I accept you for who you are."
Well,
But
Now with
they're not
D-Wade,
gonna-
like D-Wade is definitely not referring to his son anymore.
Yeah,
Like, he's referring to
because
his
that's
daughter.
how I want to be acknowledged,
so I'm thinking
and
that
I
at the
respect it. But I'm not gonna go get you a sex change.
I think
now.
right. And what's happening is, if that becomes a possibility, I think D Wade said he would pay for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it seemed like.
Yeah.
I could tell that by watching D-Wade on the interviews and stuff. He was talking about something completely different, but when they brought up the subject of his child, he was, you know what I'm saying, he was very respectful, deliberate,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying,
And-
like
Yeah,
And the nature of everything that's going on being so deliberate, it's not disturbing to me, but it makes me wonder what is the greater, because we're talking about the media here. We're not talking about a family.
yeah.
We're not talking about some
I'm
people
saying.
in the cut. We're talking about stars. We're talking about celebrities. We're talking about
Yeah.
mainstream media. And this is all so deliberate. It makes me wonder, like, what is really happening here?
cuz like I watched
do you watch I Am Jazz?
I think I have.
like
But let me say this real quick. Boosie Badass, with what he said, it really made me think, because what he said was, and I never thought about this, like, man, they can say this now. Like, my kid says, I want to be a girl. I let him, I foster that line of thought and those feelings, right? I transitioned my kid at 10, 11, 12 years old. 16, he meets a girl and happens to start liking that girl and fall in love with that girl, because the nature of boy-girl relationships are different at different ages.
Mm-hmm.
I've went with a procedure to transition my boy into a girl, and now he has feelings for women. It's like, man, I never thought about the ramifications of doing something like that at that age, and that is something to be considered. Even if you don't like the way Boosie said it, he was saying something with
That
some
is
truth
true.
in it.
It's not
Like,
invalid, but my feelings for another gender, don't invalidate my feelings for myself.
All right. I would just say, when it comes to being racist,
Oh shit.
I only like green faces. You know what I'm saying? So, as long as you're living in my pocket, it's not your body, your rules.
Tell him,
It's,
Pops.
it's what I can afford to give you. If I can afford to buy you a pair of Jordans, then I'll buy you the little pink and purple Jordans that the girls are wearing if that's what you want. You know what I'm saying? But no, I'm not. At this point in my life, I can't afford steroids and procedures
Right.
and you know what I'm saying. So like, I'll help you. You know what I'm saying?
So what
because
I've
the
seen-
world is gonna bully you for your thoughts and your feelings and your. You know what I'm saying? So you can come home to a safe place.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a
It's
parental
very valid.
parental desires for your
But I'm
child to
not
be
gonna
safe.
like if you want to do all that with your life, you're gonna have to wait until you're old enough to get a job
But what I've seen
and do it for yourself.
I've seen people that have transitioned in the story of how they got the money. They have to prostitute themselves.
That's how else are you gonna get
Yeah.
$100,000
So it's boys
in
being,
6-8 months?
Homosexual prostitutes to pay for transition surgery.
And then the
Yeah.
other thing that
But
I've
isn't
noticed.
But I feel like it's all about sex, though, right? Like, I guess not. I guess not. Because
Like-
if you on
Like
the
sexual
inside,
desires or gender.
so I guess.
I don't pretend to know.
See, because like in my mind, it hits me
saying.
with this is all about sex. You know what I'm saying? So you're a sexual being.
It's never
at this
about
point.
sex. When you're
You know?
3 and you know this is what you like, it's never about sex. It's about what you like. It's about what you feel is you. A lot of people are like, how did he know he wanted to be a girl at 3? I knew I was gay at 3 because there was some little bitch in the choir named Maria, and I wanted to kiss on her the way my mama
Sex.
kissed on my daddy.
Sex.
No, no, no.
That's not sex though.
Not
A
sex.
3-year-olds kissing ain't sex.
No.
No,
not at
it's
all.
kissing.
It's kissing.
I don't know, man.
Because
when
if
you know that
walk
you
in,
want to
if you
run up
walk
on
in and you
somebody,
listen
and-
to your parents have sex at 3 or at 4, you know something is very weird and gross
Look,
about
when
that.
I was in preschool,
It's just kissing.
when I was in preschool, when we had nap time, we used to go and hunch under the tables. We called it juicing. So we used to go under the tables and juice during nap time, right? We was around 3-4 years old, right?
Mhm.
But we were not sexualized. We were just emulating what our parents were doing. So
know.
we didn't
So-
have any sexuality. We were just doing this because that's
Well,
what you do.
I guess it's human
So,
contact.
A lot of
Like
people.
it's because it is human contact.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You want a dick in your mouth or you want some pussy in your mouth? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you
That's
just
a lot.
wow.
know.
It's you know what I'm saying? That's what
How
it
did
is.
this take a turn?
Yeah.
It's human contact, and you know that you prefer contact from a male human or a female human at the age of 3, like she just said. Like it was that little girl over there
But,
that I wanted to touch her more than I wanted to touch him.
But my
You know?
desire was based off of who I wanted to touch. Her desire is based off who she wants to be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
see, and that's what messes me up.
And
in
the
mind.
fact of the
It's
matter
like-
is,
like I got to be more
children
open
know.
to that.
Yeah.
and more than
Yeah.
anything,
Well, not
more than
children know, but
anybody likes to
individuals
put on.
know.
Individuals
you,
know.
Yeah, you know what
More than
what you want.
people like to put on, parents be knowing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, parents can see
So we
it.
not
Yeah.
gonna sit here. You know, a lot of people are like, I never knew. I asked my mama if she knew. She was like, yeah, I knew.
Yeah,
Pass me the ox. I got something I want to.
I ain't
So
gonna lie. Yeah, my son is a heterosexual male.
yeah,
for
my
now.
son is
You know what I'm
too.
saying? Like he's
My son is
too.
very in touch with like feminine
definitely-
things.
He
But
sees women
he's a
and
booty
he's
man.
like, hey,
He like titties. He's very aware.
yeah.
And
Yeah, I was a titty boy.
yeah. So like that's that. And then the other thing is stop saying that kids don't know at such young ages. Just cause you raising dumbass kids. I
It's-
saw a video. This
I
man
think it's
asked his baby,
Yeah, he asked
was
his
he an
child,
omelet?
"Are
and
you
was he
a
a
cheese
Xbox?
omelet?" Yeah.
Just cause your child don't know shit, don't mean the rest of the world don't.
You know what? I think that
That was fucking.
I think
I ain't
that
gonna say it, but you know how I
ridiculous.
feel.
I think that this
Fucking
just
ridiculous.
it runs in the tradition. It runs in the tradition of adults and children, whereas the thoughts and expressions of children are also often being dismissed by adults. So to take that stance is very dismissive. And it's like you see children rebel early on in their life
Yeah.
because they are being dismissed.
And
Yeah.
that is one
Yeah.
of the
That
generational
is-
curses that we need to break.
That is so true because, man, like, so nowadays you can't afford to live in a one-income household.
Nope.
Like, it's just not gonna happen.
Not gonna happen.
Like,
So you gonna live on the south side?
I don't say like,
And you know we ain't going out there,
No,
so
no.
you gonna live on the streets.
so you know what I'm saying? Like, now both parents are at work, and there is that lack of communication, that lack of attention that the kids just aren't getting. So they're acting out, they're rebelling, you know. Like, cause I notice it. I notice how my son acts different when I gotta work. You know what I'm saying 2-3 weeks straight with no days off, and I'm just at home. The only time I see him
Nah,
is when
check it out. I totally agree because yesterday my son came to work with me, right? And we spent the whole day together as men.
yeah.
It was a great experience, right?
Yeah.
Soon as mommy come through the door.
Oh yeah.
Oh, mommy, I got an itch scratching for me. It's pat my head, rub my booty, mom. And I'm looking like, what the hell happened? We was just talking
just
about
men.
going on a riverboat gambling trip, making beef jerky, all kinds of manly stuff. Now all of a sudden it's
Gutting these fish.
Right.
gutting fish and killing bears. Now it's let me get a hug and let me lay on you. And